now in studio is criminal and civil rights attorney and mom, Deanne Arthur. Deanne, thank you for being with us now. And when you first heard about the story, what was your immediate reaction?
I hate to say it, but my immediate reaction was not to be surprised. This is a growing industry, and human trafficking takes many faces, it takes many forms. And however people feel about Deandra's story, it's still a good dialogue that needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about what to do. And it's not just the man in a ski mask or a beanie that's gonna come and grab your children. Sometimes it takes the form of friends, boyfriends, and it's more than just sex trafficking, it's more than just kidnapping. It's human trafficking engulfs all type of things. It does engulf sex, but it's about labor, domestic labor, all kind of things. And it's children, it's women, it's mostly vulnerable victims.
How many victims are there, do you think, in San Diego County right now out there?
I can't say how many victims because the problem is there's so many victims that are keeping it quiet, but it's going to be a shocking number. The thing to look out for a lot of times is victims that feel scared or hesitant, let somebody else speak for them, don't want to take initiative with anything, seem timid or abused, because the issue is it's not just somebody keeping someone barricaded in a home. Sometimes it's just emotional intimidation. Sometimes some of these perpetrators keep them by basically telling them that they can't go anywhere. Sometimes they'll do things like keep their license or keep them barricaded, but they still let them go out, and that's the whole underlying issue. They have to go out and perform these acts, but they always come back to them because of the emotional intimidation.
And going back to Deandra's experience, so she had quite the scare. You know, she alerted IKEA security officials, but she didn't file a police report, which she said people were very critical of. Now, after hearing that, do you think that she made the right decision? Do you think enough parents report this type of activity?
I think she made the right decision in still going out and making this be known, because she is right. Nothing did happen. It's hard for the police to go out and they can't make an arrest. They can investigate. There's tip lines. People can always call in. It doesn't have to necessarily be a 911 situation, which she can call in, or she could have called in and made a report about what she saw, but not to say what she did was wrong. She also reported it to IKEA. She was in an awkward situation because she was going off of a mother's instinct. I'm a mother, so I know what that feels like, but she didn't have concrete facts of what these men did. If we were to look at the other side of the coin, these could be men that their whole day was intruded upon and they were just looking suspicious shopping in IKEA.
Okay, so from a law enforcement standpoint, because you are an attorney, how do you police this stuff? If the victims aren't coming forward, it's a crime that you can see developing, like we just talked with the mother from Los Angeles. How are the police supposed to really target this terrible issue?
Well, the police are doing a great job in that they're doing more investigation. They're doing stings. So it's not so much they just have to go out and investigate based on tips. They are taking the initiative to do their own police work. A lot of these stings have to do with impersonating Johns, quote unquote, or the people that would engage some of these victims. And these stings allow for large arrests because it's kind of following a trail. So you find victims and then they get the victim. Thankfully, sometimes they have victims that will tell where they have been and what's going on. And that can lead to larger arrests. But a lot of it has to do with just police work outside of just having victims coming to them and reporting their scenarios.
And one more question before we have to say goodbye. If you do experience something like this, what do you do?
If you experience something like this, the best thing to do is to call local law enforcement. Right. Even if it's just a gut feeling, just report it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a 911 call, but just report where you were, what you saw, a description of the person, so that the police can try to do their job. And you never know, with the investigations they're doing, your tip could fall into a sting that they were already pursuing.
Sounds like they need more tips too. Deanne Arthur, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Time now.